All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something we spend, nearly a third of our lives doing: sleep. But for so many of us, it feels less like a gift and more like this problem we're constantly trying to solve. So let's take a minute and try to re-examine this whole nightly ritual through a completely new lens.
And let's just start with this question right here. Think about it. We spend billions on sleep aid, fancy trackers, all this tech, just trying to hack our rest. But what if our whole approach is, wrong? What if sleep isn't some problem to solve, but a miracle we've just gotten so used to that it's become boring? That's really the core idea we're going to explore.
This isn't even a new idea. Centuries ago, the poet Rumi gave us this really profound perspective. For him, being unable to sleep wasn't just a frustration, it was an opening, a space for creativity. It's just a beautiful way to start thinking about our relationship with the night. Not as a battle we have to win, but as something more.
And that beautiful idea, it brings us right to our first section, the forgotten miracle. So let's explore what actually happens when we stop seeing sleep as just a biological chore and start seeing it as the fundamental, restorative process it was always meant to be.
Okay, so this gets right to the heart of that whole philosophical take. The idea is that when we fall asleep, we're not just shutting down for the night. We are reconnecting with some kind of fundamental source of energy to repair our minds, to repair our bodies. So it's less about losing time and much more about this nightly return to our most essential self.
So, if sleep is this profound process, how do we actually get better at it? Well, we can start by looking at the incredibly powerful role our own mind plays in finding true deep rest.
We hear all the time about using meditation to help with sleep, right? But it's so important to understand the difference. Think of it this way. Meditation is a state of conscious rest. Your body's relaxed, sure, but your mind is awake and alert. Sleep, on the other hand, is unconscious rest, where consciousness itself kind of takes a back seat. They are two totally different states, but, as we're about to see, one can be a really powerful gateway to the other.
So how does one actually help the other? Well, meditation acts like a direct antidote to the one thing that keeps so many of us awake at night: stress. By triggering this physical relaxation response, it calms your heart rate, it slows your breathing, and it quiets down those anxious thoughts that always seem to get so much louder in the middle of the night. But, quieting the mind is really only half the story. To truly prepare for rest, we also have to think about what we're putting into our bodies. And it turns out our diet plays an absolutely critical role in fueling our sleep.
If you were making a grocery list for better sleep, this would be it. Seriously, the sources all point to foods that give us these key sleep-promoting compounds. You've got melatonin from tart cherry juice, magnesium from almonds, and the building blocks for serotonin from fatty fish. Even kiwi makes the list. It's got these unique compounds that really improve sleep quality.
And then, on the flip side, we have the sleep saboteurs. Caffeine is the obvious one, right? It can stick around in your system for up to 8 hours. Alcohol is sneaky. It might make you feel drowsy at first, but it totally wrecks your deep sleep cycles later in the night. And finally, high-fat or sugary foods, those can trigger indigestion and blood sugar spikes that are pretty much guaranteed to interrupt your rest.
Okay, so we've talked about our inner state, we've talked about our diet. The final piece of this whole puzzle is putting it all together with consistent daily habits. This is where we build the routines that truly set the stage for a great night's sleep.
And if you're wondering just how important these habits really are, just get this. Up to half of all children are affected by sleep problems. This shows us that establishing these healthy routines early on isn't just a nice little idea. It's absolutely essential for healthy development.
So, what does a good routine even look like? Well, it really breaks down into 3 simple steps. First, reduce your light, specifically that blue light from our screens, because it tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Second, relax. Actively wind down with a book, some calm music, maybe a warm bath. And finally, be consistent. This might be the single most important step because a regular sleep schedule is the master key to regulating your body's internal clock.
So, We've looked at the philosophy, the practical tips for our mind and our body, and the incredible power of habits. Let's kind of zoom out and bring it all back together and look at what it truly means to embrace the night.
I think this quote it really gets to the heart of it all. Proper sleep isn't about following a checklist of do's and don'ts. It's a way to find that calm center in the hurricane of our daily lives. It's a practice of true restoration and of balance.
And we'll end with this one last powerful thought. It suggests that our attitude toward sleep is basically a mirror for our attitude toward life. If we see sleep as a hassle, well, life itself becomes a hassle. So the question to leave you with is this: is your sleep just a chore you have to get through, or is it a miraculous part of a life that's well lived?